Imagine this, the Earth spinning at over 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator, suddenly just stops. Not forever, not for a day, just for 1 second. A single beat of stillness in a world defined by constant motion. What would happen? At first glance, 1 second might not sound like much. We blink in a quarter of that time. But when we're talking about a planet-sized object hurtling through space, even a brief pause unleashes unimaginable chaos. Let's be clear, we're not talking about the Earth slowing down gradually. We're talking about an instantaneous stop in rotation. The crust, the oceans, the atmosphere, all of it suddenly jolting against inertia. Let's begin with you. Standing at the equator, your body is moving with the Earth's spin at roughly 465 meters per second. If the Earth stopped suddenly, but your body didn't, you'd be launched eastward at that speed. That's faster than the speed of sound. Buildings would disintegrate, trees would be ripped from the ground, and every unsecured object would become a deadly projectile. Entire cities would be flattened by invisible shockwaves of momentum. Now scale that up. Every person, every car, every piece of infrastructure flying forward at over 1,000 miles per hour. In that single second, the world becomes a war zone of supersonic destruction. And the oceans? They don't stop either. Water doesn't care about your physics textbook. The momentum would cause massive tsunamis. Walls of water sweeping inland at devastating speeds. Coastal cities would disappear beneath them. Low-lying countries would be washed off the map. Then comes the wind. The atmosphere keeps spinning too. If the ground stops moving, the air above it doesn't. And that difference becomes wind speeds of unimaginable force. We're talking about storms with the power of multiple hurricanes, sweeping across the continents in the blink of an eye. But the destruction doesn't end there. The Earth's rotation affects its very shape. It bulges at the equator due to centrifugal force. If the planet stops spinning, gravity pulls the bulge inward. Sea levels at the equator would drop. Water would rush toward the poles. Flooding in northern and southern latitudes would be catastrophic, while equatorial regions would dry out into barren wastelands. Satellites would also be affected. Many orbit in sync with Earth's rotation, a geostationary dance. But if Earth halts, their carefully calibrated orbits become unstable. Communication systems would fail. GPS would go haywire. Modern civilization would feel the tremor, even if you survived the initial blast. Now, let's get even more surreal. The magnetic field, generated by the Earth's spinning, molten iron core, would begin to decay. Not in that 1 second, but the process would start. Over time, radiation from space would leak into our atmosphere, affecting electronics, biology, and the climate itself. We'd be exposed to solar winds, cosmic rays, and other celestial threats we're currently shielded from. And then, gravity. Earth's spin gives us more than day and night. It stabilizes the planet. Without it, the gyroscopic effect disappears. The Earth might start to wobble unpredictably on its axis. Seasons could shift wildly. Climates would become chaotic. The moon, no longer tugging on a consistent equator, might even drift into a new orbit, or slowly spiral away. In just 1 second, the Earth wouldn't just stop spinning. Time, physics, biology, and civilization itself would be torn out of sync. But here's the kicker. Once that second ends, and Earth resumes its rotation, the destruction doesn't reverse. The kinetic chaos remains. Cities don't rebuild themselves. Oceans don't retreat. The atmosphere doesn't go calm. That single second rewrites history. And all of this assumes the planet somehow survives structurally, that its tectonic plates don't crack open from the sudden stress, that the molten core doesn't destabilize, that the delicate balance of forces holding our world together isn't pushed too far. Why is this even worth asking? Because sometimes understanding how fragile our reality is helps us appreciate how finely tuned it has to be for life to exist. The Earth is a machine we never notice until it malfunctions. Until the gears grind, the silence roars, and we remember that we are passengers on a spinning miracle. So next time you look up at the sky, remember, it's not just the stars that move, it's us, always in motion, always balanced on the edge of chaos, all held together by one continuous spin.